Well, Lord Jamar was dissed on Eminem's album recently, and he responded to this on his podcast. He saved it for his podcast because he's trying to get his podcast off and going. And he has a lot of good points that he made during his podcast. I just noticed one little undertone that I didn't. It was a little weird, but he did make a lot of good points about Eminem. He's criticized Eminem in the past, and Eminem obviously heard it and responded to him and a bunch of other people that were criticizing him. Let's get into that. It's Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to run ads, the channel is jordantowermedia@gmail.com. Well, Lord Jamar of the famous group Brand Nubian, he's definitely a legend in the game and definitely has a lot of perspective on the game. Obviously, okay? He was one of the early people rapping, okay? His group started in 1989, So, I always respect his opinion. Vlad uses him a lot. And, he made a lot of good points. Like, Eminem is always, like, I've never been so into, I always respected Eminem's ability to rhyme words. That was, it's amazing, right? But he doesn't really say much, okay? There's very few songs where he sang a lot, and I do like those songs, okay? But Lord Jamar says most of the time he's just rhyming words, and he said that comedian's portrayal of him, like with the blamped and damped and damp, the napkin dapped, it's like, that's kind of like, that's what he hears when he hears Eminem, and that's kind of what I hear too, because I never really replay Eminem songs. I respect Eminem's craft, and he is an MC, but Lord Jamar makes a good point that he's a different kind of MC. A Scarface or somebody else will move you more. Even Applause, or however you say his name, moves me more than an Eminem. I'll listen to a Applause song more than an Eminem song because it has more substance and it touches me in a different way. Rick Ross even. Rick Ross is an amazing MC, but I'm just saying, Rick Ross and even Jewels or somebody. There's more relatable songs on there to life. Eminem, nah. But Lord Jamar also went on and that was a great point that he made. Okay. And he said, I wasn't really that impressed with his response. He was basically saying, why are you picking on me? Leave me alone. And referenced Elvis and stuff, all this, so. And he was miming Elvis with pelvis. And, it was like, whatever, Okay. But Eminem did, that was a good shout out to have, too, at the same time. So, anyways, Lord Jamar made his point. The only part he went on a tangent of him being white MC. And it's not a color thing. Yes, hip-hop started in the Bronx. And, nobody white was a part of it in the beginning, like except for like MC Serge and people like that. And you had DJ Armstrong and all those people. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like culture. Any culture doesn't get big unless everybody loves it. You got people in Japan. You got DJ Hondas and stuff like that in Japan, and that's how culture grows and takes over. And that's how hip hop took over. Hip hop was so great. It's like poetry. It's it's like, it was amazing. So everybody loves it. I remember when I fell in love with it. It's just, and it's great that everyone fell in love with it. Do some people abuse it? Absolutely. And that's where I get, from him, a lot of people do abuse hip hop, and that hurts, especially for someone from him, where he was one of the beginning people. I mean, hip hop started in the 70s, but he was still early in the game, 1989. That's early. And to see people really capitalizing on it now, and they didn't have half, even a quarter or a 12th of the abilities of people back then, is disheartening. But I'm not saying he's better. I think he made good points. And yeah, I'll link his podcast below so you guys can listen for yourself. But that was the point that took to me. I mean, other blogs are pointing out that I made you modify your behavior. I got into your psyche, and you sat there and had to try and think about some ish to respond to. But the point I got was Eminem is a different kind of MC than everybody else. That's what I got from it. And I agree with him on that, because I'm a fan of Eminem's skills, but not of the songs. They don't touch me at all, you know. Anyways, my favorite group, probably in the '90s, was Mobb Deep. I don't know why, it just was. I'm not from the hood, you know. I'm from the Bronx, you know, but it's like, and I went away to school at one point because I was bad in school, but like, something about Mobb Deep. I loved Queensbridge music for some reason in the '90s, and obviously that shows because that's where I started my career with Core Mega, Infamous Mob, and then I started working with Mobb Deep, which was amazing, you know. So that's how I started my career, you know, in music. So you know, I worked from the ground up. I worked from the ground up with the Arsonists, nonfiction, you know, underground stuff, you know, and then I worked my way up through Rocksteady Crew, and then up to, you know, it's me. I don't know, man. Anyways, guys, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and I'll check you guys later.